Have you ever felt like you're being held hostage by your own mind? Like fear has its claws dug deep into your thoughts, making everything feel uncertain, overwhelming, and uncontrollable. You wake up, and the world feels heavy. The weight of what-ifs and maybes hangs over you, and anxiety creeps in like a shadow, following you everywhere. Your chest tightens, your heart races, and your mind is flooded with doubt. It's like the universe is too big, too chaotic, and you're too small to manage it. It's one of the most common struggles we face in life, fear and anxiety. And it's a battle that many people don't even realize they're constantly fighting. Fear is so ingrained in our daily lives that it can feel normal, like it's a part of who we are. The simple thought of stepping outside your comfort zone, facing a challenge, or even just thinking about what's to come tomorrow can trigger a surge of panic. Suddenly, everything seems like a risk, and fear takes the wheel. But here's the truth that no one tells you. Fear is not your enemy. It's a signal, a part of our primal survival system. It's the mind's way of trying to protect you. But in today's world, where we're not fighting physical predators, the fear that once served us now keeps us trapped in cycles of self-doubt and hesitation. What happens is this. The brain misinterprets many of life's challenges as threats. The fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of being judged, these aren't life-threatening situations, but to our minds, they feel like we're staring down a predator. And so, the body responds in the same way, fight or flight. Adrenaline floods your bloodstream, your heart races, and your thoughts spin out of control. Suddenly, everything becomes harder, even mundane tasks. But what if you didn't have to live this way? What if instead of constantly trying to outrun or avoid fear, you could learn how to face it head-on without it controlling you? What if you could learn to live with confidence and calm, even in the face of uncertainty? The problem isn't the fear itself, it's how we react to it. So often we let fear make our decisions for us. We stay in our comfort zones, avoiding new experiences, relationships, or challenges because we're afraid of failing or looking foolish. We hold back our dreams, our creativity, and our potential because we let fear whisper that we're not good enough or that we'll never make it. But what if, instead of running from fear, you could use it to push you forward? What if fear was the very thing that could unlock the confidence and courage you've always been searching for? This journey isn't about eliminating fear. It's about learning how to walk through life with it, without letting it define you. It's about understanding the truth behind your anxiety and fear, and discovering that you have the power to choose how you respond. And in doing so, you can finally take back control and start living a life that feels as bold, empowered, and limitless as you've always dreamed. So let's dive deeper. In the next part, we'll explore the science behind fear and anxiety, so that you can understand exactly how it works, and more importantly, how you can begin to rewire your brain to free yourself from its grip. Stay with me. You're about to discover that you are not the prisoner of your fear. Have you ever wondered why your heart races and your palms sweat, even when you're not in any real danger? Why does anxiety seem to appear out of nowhere, paralyzing your mind and body, even when there's no visible threat? It's a mystery many of us face, and the answer lies in the science of fear itself. Fear isn't just an emotional response. It's wired deep within your brain, and understanding how it works is the first step to taking control of it. Let's break it down. When you feel fear or anxiety, your brain goes into overdrive. The primary part of your brain responsible for processing fear is called the amygdala. It's like your brain's alarm system, constantly scanning for threats. When the amygdala detects something that could be dangerous, whether it's a real physical threat, an uncomfortable social situation, or even just worrying about a future event, it sends signals throughout your body to prepare for action. This is where the fight or flight response kicks in. In an instant, your body floods with stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, preparing you to either fight or flee. Your heart beats faster, your muscles tense, and your senses heighten. This Response was once life-saving when our ancestors had to face physical dangers, like a predator in the wild. But in the modern world, the threats we face are usually psychological, such as the fear of public speaking, the anxiety of making a mistake at work, or the worry of being judged by others. Here's the twist. The fight-or-flight response doesn't differentiate between real and perceived danger. It reacts the same way whether you're facing a lion or the possibility of public humiliation. And that's where things go wrong. In today's society, most of our fears are imagined scenarios, and yet our bodies still react as if they are real. This constant activation of the fight-or-flight response leads to a state of chronic stress. When we experience anxiety repeatedly, our brains begin to wire themselves for fear. In psychological terms, this is called neuroplasticity. It means the more you react to fear, the more entrenched those fear-based pathways become in your brain. It's like a well-worn path in the forest. The more you walk it, the easier it is to travel. Similarly, the more your brain reacts to anxiety, the more natural it feels to be anxious. But here's the good news. Neuroplasticity isn't just about reinforcing fear. It's about changing the pathways in your brain. Just like you can strengthen the pathways of fear, you can also build new pathways of calm, confidence, and resilience. This means that anxiety doesn't have to be a permanent state. With the right techniques, you can literally rewire your brain to respond differently to fear. One of the most powerful ways to do this is through mindfulness. Mindfulness allows you to be present in the moment, observing your thoughts without judgment. Instead of automatically reacting with anxiety when a fearful thought arises, you can choose to acknowledge it and let it pass. Over time, this practice trains your brain to create new, healthier neural pathways that are less reactive and more grounded in calmness. It's not about eliminating fear, it's about changing your relationship with it. And by understanding the science behind fear, you can see that it's not an unstoppable force. Fear may be a natural part of being human, but you have the power to control it. Now that we've explored how fear operates in the brain, the next step is learning how to break free from its grip and reclaim your confidence. What if fear wasn't something to run from, but something to embrace? What if you could look at anxiety not as an enemy, but as a signal that there's growth just beyond your comfort zone? Imagine how differently you'd approach life if fear didn't paralyze you, but instead motivated you to take action. This shift in perspective is the key to overcoming fear and anxiety and ultimately building unshakable confidence. The first step in transforming fear is to redefine your relationship with it. Instead of viewing fear as something dangerous or destructive, see it as a messenger. Fear is often an indication that you're about to do something important, something that matters. Whether it's giving a presentation, having a difficult conversation, or trying something new, fear arises because your mind senses a challenge. And here's the secret. Challenges are opportunities for growth. When you experience fear, don't fight it. Don't try to suppress it. Instead, acknowledge it. I feel fear right now, and that's okay. By simply recognizing that fear is present, you take away its power. You stop letting it dictate your actions. You don't have to react to fear. Instead, you can choose how to respond. One of the most effective tools to transform fear is mindfulness. Practicing mindfulness helps you break the automatic cycle of fear and anxiety. When you feel your body tense up or your thoughts start to spiral, take a moment to pause. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and tune into the present moment. Notice how your body feels. Are your shoulders tight? Is your heart racing? By acknowledging these sensations without judgment, you create a space between yourself and the fear. This space is powerful. It gives you the ability to choose your next action, rather than being controlled by your emotions. Over time, mindfulness helps you build emotional resilience. Instead of being swept away by fear, you learn how to stay calm, present, and centered. You begin to see fear as a normal part of life, something you can move through, rather than something that will hold you back. But it doesn't stop there. Action is the antidote to fear. Fear thrives on avoidance. It grows when you retreat from challenges. To break free from its grip, you must lean into discomfort. Start small. If you're afraid of public speaking, don't immediately thrust yourself into a large crowd. Start by speaking in front of a mirror or in front of a small group of friends. Gradually increase the challenge, and with each step, you'll build more confidence. The key is consistent exposure. Each time you face your fear, no matter how small, the step, your brain rewires itself. The more you confront your anxiety, the less power it has over you. It's like exercising a muscle. The more you work it, the stronger it becomes. And as you face fear with intention, something incredible happens. You become more confident. Confidence doesn't come from never feeling fear. It comes from realizing that you can still act even when fear is present. Confidence is the belief that you have the ability to handle whatever life throws at you, no matter how uncertain or scary it might seem. So remember, fear is not something you need to fear. It's a signal, a challenge, and a tool that can help. You grow stronger. And when you choose to act in the face of fear, you start to build the confidence and resilience you need to live boldly and fearlessly. Imagine waking up each morning with a sense of calm, knowing that no matter what the day brings, you have the strength, resilience, and mental tools to face it. What if, instead of fearing the unknown, you embraced it with a sense of possibility and excitement? What would it be like to look at challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth? To walk through life with a quiet, unshakable confidence, knowing that no matter what happens, you have the ability to handle it. This is the goal, to cultivate lasting confidence, a type of inner strength that comes from knowing who you are and what you're capable of, regardless of external circumstances. Many of us mistakenly believe that confidence is something you're born with, something that only a select few possess. But the truth is, confidence is not an inherent trait. It's a skill, one that can be learned and developed over time. And like any skill, it requires practice, patience, and the right mindset. Confidence doesn't appear overnight. It's a process, a series of intentional actions and thoughts that, when compounded over time, lead to a deep sense of self-assurance. Building lasting confidence begins with understanding that confidence is a journey, not a destination. It's about choosing to act, even when you're uncertain, and trusting yourself along the way. In fact, one of the first steps in building confidence is embracing uncertainty. Confidence isn't about being fearless. It's about moving forward, despite fear. When you embrace uncertainty as a natural part of life, you free yourself from the pressure to have all the answers or to be perfect. Embrace imperfection. Many people fall into the trap of thinking that to be confident, they must be perfect. We live in a world that places immense value on achievement, success, and outward appearance, which can make us feel as though we're only worthy of confidence when we meet certain standards. But perfection is not the key to true confidence. In fact, it's the acceptance of imperfection that often leads to greater self-assurance. Think about it. No one is perfect. We all make mistakes, experience setbacks, and face challenges. The difference between those who build lasting confidence and those who remain stuck in fear is how they respond to those imperfections. Rather than beating yourself up or letting mistakes define you, you can choose to view them as part of the process. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become more resilient. When you begin to embrace your imperfections, you take away their power over you. You stop fearing failure and start seeing it as a stepping stone toward success. To truly embody confidence, you need to give yourself permission to be human, to acknowledge that you will fall, you will struggle, and you will have moments of doubt. But in those moments, you don't need to shrink or hide. Instead, you can choose to be kind to yourself, to lift yourself back up, and to keep going. This self-compassion is essential for lasting confidence because it creates a sense of safety within yourself. You start to trust that no matter what happens, you'll always be there for yourself, and that's incredibly empowering. Consistency, the backbone of confidence building. Lasting confidence doesn't happen in a single moment. It's the result of consistent action. Think of confidence like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. Each time you take a step toward your fears, face a challenge, or step outside your comfort zone, you strengthen your ability to trust yourself. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment or for fear to disappear, because fear will always be there. It's about learning how to act despite fear, and with each action, you grow more confident. Start small. Don't try to take on the biggest fear or the toughest challenge right away. Instead, focus on taking small, consistent steps. Whether it's speaking up in a meeting, approaching someone new, or trying something you've always been afraid to do, each small victory reinforces your sense of capability. Over time, these small steps will add up to big changes. Confidence is built one step at a time, and with each step, you'll start to see that you're capable of more than you once believed. A great way to build consistency is to set daily goals. Goals that stretch you just enough to get out of your comfort zone. These goals should be specific, achievable, and slightly uncomfortable. For instance, if you struggle with social anxiety, your goal could be as simple as saying hello to a stranger or making small talk with a colleague. If you fear failure in your work, set a goal to take on a new project or pitch an idea. As you achieve these goals, you'll begin to see that your fears don't control you. They are just temporary emotions that can be overcome with action. Another key to consistency is tracking progress. It's easy to lose sight of how far you've come when you're focused on the next challenge. But when you take the time to reflect on your growth, whether it's through journaling, taking photos, or simply looking back on past successes, you can gain a deeper appreciation for how much you've accomplished. This recognition of progress reinforces your confidence and reminds you that you are constantly evolving. Mindfulness and self-awareness. Mindfulness is another essential practice for cultivating lasting confidence. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of life, constantly chasing the next goal or worrying about what others think. But confidence comes from a place of self-awareness, a deep understanding of who you are and what you need in each moment. Mindfulness allows you to slow down and reconnect with yourself. By practicing mindfulness, you can become more aware of the thoughts and beliefs that shape your reality. Often, our lack of confidence stems from negative self-talk, limiting beliefs, or past experiences that have shaped the way we view ourselves. Mindfulness helps you observe these thoughts without judgment, allowing you to create space between your identity and your fears. When you realize that your thoughts are not the same as your identity, you gain the power to choose which thoughts to focus on and which ones to let go of. Take time each day to practice mindfulness. Whether it's through meditation, deep breathing, or simply sitting in stillness for a few minutes, give yourself the gift of presence. This practice will help you quiet the noise of the outside world and reconnect with your inner strength. It's through this stillness that you'll discover that your confidence was never outside of you. It was always within you, waiting to be awakened. Gratitude and visualization. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools you can use to cultivate lasting confidence. When you focus on what you're grateful for, your mind shifts from a state of lack to one of abundance. You begin to see the positive aspects of your life, your accomplishments, and your abilities rather than focusing on what you don't have or what you haven't achieved yet. By practicing gratitude daily, you train your brain to look for the good in every situation. This positive outlook will help you approach challenges with a sense of possibility rather than fear. You'll start to recognize your strengths, appreciate your progress, and trust that you have the capacity to handle whatever comes your way. Visualization is another technique that can help solidify your confidence. By mentally rehearsing success and visualizing yourself handling challenges with calm and confidence, you begin to create a mental blueprint of success. Visualization helps reduce anxiety because it allows you to mentally prepare for future situations, making them feel less intimidating when they occur in real life. Take time each day to close your eyes and visualize yourself achieving your goals. See yourself overcoming challenges with grace and confidence. The more vividly you imagine these scenarios, the more real they will feel when they happen. Visualization can help you unlock your potential and align your mind with the confidence you need to succeed. A final word. Confidence is within you. The truth is, confidence is not something you acquire from the outside. It's not about how you look, what others think of you, or whether you're successful by society's standards. True confidence comes from within. It's about accepting yourself fully, embracing your imperfections, and trusting that you have the strength to navigate whatever life throws your way. Confidence isn't about being fearless. It's about moving forward in the face of fear. It's about trusting yourself, even when you don't have all the answers. It's about showing up for yourself every single day and believing that you are capable of more than you realize. So here's the challenge. Step into your power. Don't wait for the fear to go away. Instead, take action despite it. Choose to act in the face of uncertainty and watch as your confidence grows. The more you trust yourself, the more you'll realize that fear is not the barrier. It's the doorway to your true potential. Remember, you are not defined by your fears. You are defined by how you respond to them. Confidence is a skill, and with every step you take, you'll become stronger, bolder, and more unstoppable. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the belief that you can achieve it. And now that you know, you can.